Ikpotu Chi, the sacred ritual of calling upon one's personal god in Igbo Omenala. No. Welcome. Before we begin, I want to ask you a question. A question that the Igbo ancestors asked long before us. That question is this: who is working with you? Not behind you, not ahead of you, but within you, right now, in this very moment, as you breathe, as you think, as you exist. In Omenala, the sacred indigenous spiritual tradition of Igbo people, there is a profound and ancient answer to that question. The answer is your chi. And today, we are going to explore one of the most important, most intimate, and most powerful rituals in all of Igbo spiritual practice. We are going to talk about Ikpotu Chi, the act of calling upon your chi, the act of summoning your personal deity, the act of saying to the universe, I see you, I acknowledge you, come and walk with me. What is chi? Understanding the foundation. To understand Ikpotu Chi, we must first understand chi itself. The word chi in the Igbo language carries layers of meaning so deep that even Igbo scholars debate its full extent. The great Igbo writer Chinua Achebe, in his famous essay on Igbo cosmology, described chi as so fundamental to Igbo thought that without understanding it, you cannot understand the Igbo worldview at all. So what is chi? At its most basic level, chi is your personal god, your personal spiritual guardian, assigned to you specifically, uniquely, and exclusively. Before you were born, in the spirit world called Wamwo, Chukwu, the supreme being, the great creator, gave each soul its own personal divine representative. That representative is your chi. The Igbo say, Onye nwere chi ya, meaning every person has their own chi, and not just any chi. Your chi is yours alone. As Chinua Achebe wrote, a man does not only has his own chi, but is created by it. And no two people, not even blood brothers, are created by the same chi. Think about that. Even twins, born of the same mother and father, in the same moments, they each carry their own distinct chi. Your chi is not just a guardian angel in the Western sense, though that is the closest parallel in Christianity. Your chi is your spiritual identity in the cosmos. It carries your akaraka, your destiny marks, the blueprint of your life chosen before your birth in the presence of Chukwu. Your chi is your spiritual double, existing simultaneously in Owa, the physical world, and in one more, the spirit world. In Igbo cosmology, chi can be masculine or feminine. This is why the writer Buchi Emechata, in her novel Joys of Motherhood, portrayed the protagonist Nnu Ego's chi as a female, a woman she thought would be thorough enough to deliver such particular suffering. Chi is personal, chi is intimate, chi is relational. Now, here is the truth the Igbo hold dear. Your chi is not some distant passive force. Your chi is present, it is alive, it is responsive, and this is where Ikpotu Chi becomes critical. There is a famous Igbo proverb, Onye kwe, chi ekwe. If a person agrees, his chi agrees. Meaning, when you align yourself with purpose, with intention, with commitment, your chi rises to meet you. But here is the other side. If you do not call upon your chi, if you do not acknowledge your chi, if you live disconnected from your spiritual double, you may have all this potential in the world, and yet something will always feel as though it is missing. Something will always be slightly out of alignment. This is why Ikpotu Chi exists. Now, what is Ikpotu Chi? The word Ikpotu Chi comes from the Igbo verb, or to call, to summon, to name, to invoke, and Chi as we have established, is your personal deity. So, Ikpotu Chi literally means the calling of Chi, the summoning of your personal God, the ritual of invocation and acknowledgement of the divine force that was assigned to you before your birth. But Ikpotu Chi is more than simply calling a name. It is a secret act of reconnection. In Igbo cosmology, a person's Chi is believed to reside with Anyanwu, the sun, the bringer of daylight. The great Chinua Achebe noted that among the Igbo of Oka, when a man reaches the point in his life where he needs to formally establish a relationship with his Chi, he invites a dibia, a spiritual priest, to perform a ritual of bringing down the Chi from the face of the sun at daybreak. Therefore, the Chi is represented physically in the man's compound until the day of his death. This tells us something profound. Your Chi is real. Your Chi descends. Your Chi can be present in your physical space, in your home, in your life, if and when you call it. Ikpotu Chi is the formal, sacred means of doing exactly that. Now, Ikpotu Chi is not same as Obu Chi, which is the full installation and establishment of a Chi shrine, a much larger and more elaborate ceremony. Ikpotu Chi is specifically the act of calling and invoking. It can happen as a daily practice, as a special ritual moment, or as the opening ceremony before a larger celebration. It is both a lifestyle practice and a formal rite. Think of it this way. Obu Chi is building a house. Ikpotu Chi is opening the door and calling someone inside. Every time you open the door with intention and reverence, you are doing Ikpotu Chi. Who performs Ikpotu Chi and when? Traditionally, Ikpotu Chi is performed in two ways: individually as a personal daily practice, and formally through the guidance of a dibia, a priest, diviner, and spiritual mediator of ordinary. In the personal daily form, every Igbo person was expected to greet and acknowledge their Chi at the beginning of the day, especially at daybreak, when the Chi was believed to be most accessible, descending from Anyanwu, the sun. Morning prayers in traditional Igbo households always began with recognition of one's Chi. Even today, many traditional practitioners begin their day by saying, Chim, bia, Nnam, bia, my Chi, come, my father, come. This is a simple but powerful form of Ikpotu Chi. In the formal ceremonial sense, Ikpotu Chi is performed at key moments in a person's life, before major undertakings, at the start of a new year on the Igbo calendar, during personal crisis, during Thanksgiving, after success, and most importantly, when a person is establishing or re-establishing their connection to their Chi shrine, their Ohu Chi or Obu Chi. The dibia plays a critical role. The dibia, through alpha divination, first identifies the nature and character of a person's Chi and prescribes the appropriate items, timing, and words for the Ikpotu Chi ritual. No two people's ritual are identical because no two Chi are the same. It is also important to know that both men and women perform Ikpotu Chi. Research by scholars studying Obu Chi among the Igbo of Umunri and Ikem confirms that women, just as men, have their personal Chi, their personal shrines, and their personal practices of calling upon their Chi. A woman's Chi altar, whether the former Obu Chi tree or the quieter Idochi stone altar, is just as sacred as a man's. How is Ikpotu Chi done? Now let's discuss the ritual in detail. Now we come to the heart of our discussion, the actual practice. Ikpotu Chi follows a sacred sequence of preparation, invocation, offering, communion, and closing. Let us walk through each step. Mmezi onwe, purification of self. Before calling upon the divine, the practitioner must cleanse themselves physically and spiritually. In Igbo spirituality, there is the concept of unso, sacred prohibition, and no, spiritual pollution. You cannot call upon your chi while carrying spiritual pollution or unso. Purification may involve bathing with specific leaves or herbs prescribed by a dibia, such as ogirisi leaves, a sacred plant in Omenala, nchanwụ, scent leaf, or nkwenu, palm fronds. The practitioner washes their hands, face, and sometimes their entire body. The intent is not just physical cleanliness. It is a deliberate shedding of their weight of ordinary life, a preparation to meet the divine. During this step, the practitioner is also silent, quieting the mind, releasing the anxieties and distractions of Owa, the physical world, so that they can be fully present in the sacred space they are about to create. The step 2 is Ikpotu Chi, preparing the sacred space and shrine. Ikpotu Chi is performed at one's chi shrine, the Okwu Chi. This shrine may be a sacred obu tree planted in the compound, or a stone altar, Idonkumechi, or a wooden effigy or figure representing the chi. The shrine is the physical residence of the chi in this world, the point of contact between Uwamwo and Owa. The sacred space is cleaned and arranged. Any old offsprings are respectfully cleared. Fresh ogirishi leaves may be placed around the shrine. The practitioner faces east, the direction of Anyanwụ, the rising sun, from whom the chi descends. This is particularly important at daybreak, which is the most potent time for Ikpotu Chi, as the Igbo believe the chi is closest to the earth when the sun first appears. Now, step 3, Iji Oji, the breaking and blessing of kola nuts. No sacred ritual in Omenala begins without Oji, the kola nuts. The kola nut is not simply food. In Igbo spiritual culture, the kola nut is the first among all things presented to Chukwu, the ancestors, and the chi. There is an Igbo saying, Ojaru Chukwu, kola nut praises Chukwu, and another, Onye wetara Oji, wetara ndụ. He who brings kola nuts brings life. The kola nut is held up in both hands toward the shrine and toward the sky. The practitioner prays aloud over the kola nut, blessing it, sanctifying it, dedicating it. They call the name of Chukwu Okike, the creator. They call upon their Ndi Ichie, the ancestors. They call upon Allah, the earth goddess, and then they call upon their chi. The kola nut is then broken, usually into lobes. The number of lobes carries meaning. 2 lobes may carry a message. 3 lobes are considered masculine and favorable. 4 lobes are auspicious for all. 5 or more lobes are especially blessed. The Dibia may read the pattern of the kolas breaking as a form of alpha divination, an early message from the chi. Other items commonly placed alongside the kola nuts include Ose Oji, alligator pepper, which accompanies the kola as its spiritual companion. Omu, fresh palm fronds, symbol of peace and invitation. Mmanya ngwọ, palm wine, the drinking of the spirits and ancestors. And Unzu, white chalk, the symbol of purity, blessing, and spiritual clarity. Step 4, Ikpotu Chi, the act of calling, the invocation itself. This is the sacred center of the entire practice. The practitioner faces the shrine and speaks aloud, with full intention, with the voice of the heart. This is Ikpotu Chi in its purest, most direct form. The calling begins with addressing Chukwu, the Supreme Being, because the Chi is a delegate of Chukwu. You do not bypass Chukwu to reach the Chi. You acknowledge the source first. The practitioner might say, Chukwu Okike, Chineke, bịanụ olum, ndị chim, bịanụ olum. Supreme Creator, God, who creates, come and hear my voice. My ancestors, come and hear my voice. Then the practitioner calls directly to their chi. They call it with praise names, Ahoma, beautiful names that honor the chi's greatness and power. They might say, Chim, bịa, Nnamdi n'elu, bịa, Chinke Chukwu nyere m, bịa, Agbataobi nwa ogbenye, bịa, meaning, my chi, come. My father who is above, come. The chi that Chukwu gave me, come. Friend of the humble person, come. The practitioner then speaks their hearts, their requests, their gratitude, their confessions, their hopes. This is not a scripted, rigid prayer. In Omenala, authentic communion with the chi is personal and relational. You speak as though speaking to a beloved elder who has always known you and always will. You can speak in Igbo or any language your heart flows in. Though Igbo, being the language of the ancestors and the spirits, carries its own spiritual resonance. The practitioner may also recite incantations, sacred oral formulas passed down through generations called Oge Ikpe or Ujonu, power that activates spiritual forces. These incantations are often taught by a dibia and are specific to the individual's chi and circumstances. Step 5. Itu aja, making the offering. After speaking, the practitioner makes their aja, their sacrifices and offerings. Itu aja literally means to drive away impurities through sacrifice or to make a propitiatory offering. Offerings serve multiple purposes. They express gratitude, they petition for help, they clear karmic or spiritual debts, what some call nju, and they nourish the spiritual bond between the person and their chi. Offerings serve multiple purposes. They express gratitude, they petition for help, they clear karmic or spiritual debts, which some call nju, and they nourish the spiritual bond between the person and their chi. Common offerings during Ikpotu Chi include a portion of kola nuts placed at the foot of the shrine, palm wine poured as libation onto the ground or altar, with the words, Nnewa, Nwanu, Mother Earth, drink this. Cooked food, often aki, palm kernel, ede, cocoyam, orji, yam. In more significant ceremonies, a white hen or white cock may be offered, as white symbolizes purity, peace, and connection with the spirit world. As the libation is poured, the practitioner speaks, calling the ancestors again, directing the offerings to the chi, and stating the intention clearly. In Igbo spiritual thoughts, intention is everything. An offering without a stated clear intention is like sending a letter with no address. Step 6. Ige ntị, listening, receiving from the chi. After calling an offering comes one of the most sacred and often overlooked parts of Ikpotu Chi, the silence. The practitioner sits or kneels still, receptive, open. This is Ige ntị, the act of listening. The chi has been called, the offerings have been made. Now, the practitioner waits to receive. A response from the chi may come in many ways, as a sudden clarity of thoughts, as a feeling of warmth or peace, as a vision, as a sound, as a sudden memory of something forgotten. The Igbo understand that the chi communicates, not always in thunder and enlightening, but in the gentle language of spiritual knowing. The dibia, if present, may also read the patterns of a thrown alpha, cowries or seeds to interpret the chi's message. Step 7. Ikwa ekele, the closing prayer of thanksgiving. Ikpotu Chi does not end abruptly. The closing is as sacred as the opening. The practitioner thanks Chukwu. They thank the Ndi Ichie, the ancestors. They thank their chi. They release the sacred space, affirm their continued commitment to work in alignment with their chi, and seal the prayer. A common closing affirmation in Igbo tradition might be Chim goziem, Chim chebem, Chim nodu nazum n'oge niile. This means my chi bless me, my chi protect me, my chi stand behind me at all times. Nzu, the sacred white chalk, is used to mark the practitioner, drawing lines on the forehead, wrists, chest, and sometimes feet. This is not merely symbolic decoration. In Omenala, Nzu marks a person as one who has been in communion with the sacred. It is a seal, a protection, a declaration that this person has spoken with the divine and carries that blessing into the world. Part 5. The deeper significance of Ikpotu Chi. Brothers and sisters, why does any of this matter? Why in this age of technology, of globalization, of modernity, should we care about ritual from the Igbo people that has been practiced for thousands of years? Here is the answer. Because Ikpotu Chi is not just religion, it is psychology, it is self-awareness, it is recognition that every human being has an inner life, a deeper self, a purpose that was embedded in them before birth. And when we consistently ignore that inner self, when we live without ever acknowledging the divine dimension of our existence, we feel lost, we feel purposeless, we feel disconnected. Ikpotu Chi is the Igbo ancestors' way of saying, you are not alone. We are never meant to navigate this life alone. There is a force personal to you, assigned to you, invested in you, that is waiting to be called, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to co-create destiny with you. The Igbo Proverbs says, Otu nne na-amụ, mana ọ bụghị otu chi na-eke. One mother can beget many children, but all the children will have their own chi and their own eke. You are irreplaceable. Your spiritual blueprint is yours alone, and Ikpotu Chi is how you claim it. Unfortunately, the arrival of colonialism and Western religion caused many Igbo people to abandon these practices. The Chi shrines were destroyed, the Dibias were persecuted, the rituals were condemned as idolatry, but the Igbo spirits, like Omuchi itself, a tree that persists and endures, has never been fully extinguished. Today, scholars, traditional practitioners, and a new generation of Igbo youths are returning to Omenala, not out of nostalgia, but out of a genuine hunger for spiritual depth and cultural identity. A final word. As we close today, I want to leave you with one of the most beautiful concepts in all of Igbo thoughts. In Omenala, the world was created in the time called Ogachi, the age of the gods. In that time, gods and humans worked together freely. But as humanity became more materialistic, more focused on the physical, the gods withdrew. And in that withdrawal, humanity lost something essential, something holy, something that remembered original connection. Ikpotu Chi was given to humanity so that we could bridge that gap. So that even in a world where the gods no longer walk visibly among us, we could still say, Nnam, Bia, my father, come. Chim, Bia, my Chi, come and be heard. Whether you are Igbo or not, whether you practice Omenala or not, the heart of Ikpotu Chi speaks to something universal, the longing to connect with the divine within us. The longing to say, I know there is something greater in me, and I choose to honor it today. That is the gift of Ikpotu Chi. That is the wisdom of the Igbo ancestors. And that, today, here, now, is what we have come together to celebrate and to learn. Chim gozie unu niile. Daalụnụ. My Chi bless you all. Thank you all.